The sun's true size. In books on astronomy, we are gravely told that the sun is more than 1,000,000 times larger than the sea-earth globe. The writers who make these extravagant assertions do not condescend to give us any good practical evidence in proof thereof. Their authoritative assertions are supposed to be sufficient, in spite of good authorities against them, and the oppositions of, quote, science, unquote, against science, quote, unquote. This was compiled of long ago by intelligent men like John Wesley, who in his journal expressed his disbelief in the theory of Copernicus and Newton. He wrote, quote, "The more I consider them, the more I doubt all systems of astronomy. I doubt whether we can with certainty know whether the distance or the magnitude of any star in the firmament. Else why do astronomers so immensely differ with regard to the distance of the sun from the earth, some affirming it to be only 3,000,000 miles and others 90 millions of miles," unquote. Journal, Volume 9, page 392. When doctors disagree, who shall decide? Our God-given senses and a few practical observations to be noted. We have shown that the moon is a faithful witness in the heavens, and we may find the sun's testimony the same. Two good witnesses when critically examined, both testifying against the extravagance of modern theories. Now look at figure 20, which you see before you. Let an observer stand by night directly under a lamppost. The light above him will cast no side shadow. If he moves northwards, his shadow will fall towards the north, and if he goes south, his shadow will fall southwards. If the light were extended by a number of gas jets above his head, say for 10 feet, then on the observer moving that distance underneath, he would still see no shadow. That is, the vertical rays of the light would cast no shadow for a distance equal to its own length. Remember, a distance equal to its own length. Now, apply this reasoning to the shadows of vertical objects cast by the sun's rays. In northern latitudes, shadows fall towards the north, in the southern, towards the south. The declination of the sun varies from the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north, to an equal declination south of the equator to the Tropic of Capricorn. Between these extremes, the sun is always, at noon, directly overhead in places with latitudes equal to its declination. The variation in which is the cause of the varying seasons. In these places on land or at sea, the sun casts no side shadow at noon, and it has been found that the phenomena extends for 32 miles, so that the column of the sun's vertical rays is 32 miles across in every direction, a distance equal to the length of the solar diameter. And whether we take the surface of the sea as curved or horizontal, there would make little difference to the diameter, as may be seen on referring to figure 20, as shown here. During the Boer War, Dr. Robertson, a medical gentleman, sailed with our troops from England to South Africa, and in 14 degrees north latitude, the vessel at noon came under the vertical rays of the sun. He discovered the fact above mentioned and published it in a book he wrote. His book is entitled Mutual Relations of the Sun and the Earth. Dr. Robertson's diagrams and arguments demonstrate that the diameter of the sun is only 32 miles across. Thus, the sun is a small body as composed with the size of the earth. Yet, as compared with the planets, it is a giant, and as the psalmist says, quote, a giant rejoicing to run his race, unquote, Psalms 19, verse 5. The Nautical Almanac bears out the truth of the sun's comparatively small size. It gives the sun's semi-diameter as 16 minutes of a degree. 1 degree of latitude is equal to 60 miles. And as there are 60 minutes to a degree, twice 16 minutes must be equal to 32 miles. The sun's diameter by no less an authority than that of the navigator's chief almanac. We are aware of the usual astronomical quibble to get over this difficulty. Another assumption, the sun's immense distance. But whatever the distance may be, the sun's rays traverse it, and the column of vertical rays is only 32 miles across. The sun, therefore, witnessed to the truth of the Nautical Almanac, another faithful witness in the heavens. But luminous bodies often appear larger than they really are, as is sometimes illustrated by the old moon being, quote, in the arms of the new, unquote.